Today, we'll explore the importance of taking care of your own health in order to be able to serve others. Here to help us do that is Irina Strunina, a health strategist, cooking coach, and public speaker with Smart Move 360. This podcast is available on multiple platforms, including YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and others, as well as our website at foodexperienceunplugged.com. Please be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform for new content as it becomes available. Please also check out our website at foodexperienceunplugged.com for some free resources as you begin your health journey. Irina Strunina, welcome to Food Experience Unplugged.
Good morning, good afternoon. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, we are so happy to be with you today as we talk about the importance of caring for your health and then caring in order to be able to care for others. And you have such an exciting background in just caring for various lifestyle illnesses, and we're really excited to have you here today.
Yes.
To get started, will you tell us a little introduction of yourself and what brought you to this point in your life, in your career?
Well, as you probably guessed from my accent, I am from Russia, but I moved to the States in like 25 years ago. Actually, this summer, it's 25 years since my move. And for years, I was just helping to my first business partner, then my husband, with his business. And he was entrepreneur, and he was doing tremendous job traveling around the globe and teaching people telecom. And after 911, he was very heavily involved with the 911 community and security business, part of the telecommunication industry. And he was always on the road. He was always traveling everywhere. And I was at home supporting the task. We had kids. He had business to run. He had customers. He also had to make sure that from Kuwait to Los Angeles he makes it in time, and he still has enough clothes to continue his travel. So sometimes we even would meet in the airport to just exchange the bags. And that was kind of an experience, an intense life for him. For me, it was supporting job all the time, and but that job took his toll. It took its toll because eventually this crazy schedule affected his life and his health as well. So he was diagnosed with diabetes, and then it was a pretty strong move that we had to do in the family, because it's not only what you eat, it's also you have to remember to sleep, to give yourself enough sleep. You need to make sure that you go out and do some physical activities to support your body. You have to pay attention to everything that is happening to you and around you, because your body becoming very vulnerable to all of those different changes that are happening around you. So I'm a nurturer by heart. I found it somehow, and he become like one of my babies. We have two girls, and he was one of my kind of children, because as much as he was independent and man of decision, I still felt that he is not paying attention to his health that much. His main claim to fame was like, I'm indestructible, I'm a tank, nothing will happen to me. And this was really painful to observe how much he is really hurting himself. But when you're dealing with a strong person, it's very hard to make anything changed unless they decide to make a change. Mm-hmm. And that's what actually caused the problems to his health even further, because he would not believe that he couldn't overcome it. He would continue to live like nothing happened. And eventually it just weakened his body more and more and more and more. And then it was to the point when he got infected with one of those winter flus that had the effect on his kidneys. So he contracted the flu that become kidney disease that affected his other organs. And at the end, the last 2 years, it was tough time for him and for us. We have two girls at that time. They were 16 and 13. No, they were actually a couple years younger. So for me, they used to me taking care of them because their dad is on the road and doing business. And now I'm taking care of him, and they are on their own. They felt abandoned and didn't help at all. They see that his um, presence at home is much more often, and he is doing not that much. He is always tired. He's always not feeling too good. So I believe that brought some worries to their heads, which didn't help either. So by the time when his kidneys actually shot and he passed away, that actually happened like a few days after my oldest daughter turned 16. So her sweet 16 party didn't happen ever. And it was tough time for them. For me, it was difficult to accept the situation that we happened to be. For them, it was just they couldn't, they blocked it off, and they had all cases of the depression, anxiety attacks, and all this. So I had to deal now, forget about myself again. I had to keep them alive and well. So talking about taking care of somebody, and this is actually what caused me to start what I'm doing right now, because what I learned, when somebody is ill, doesn't matter what disease it is, um, we have doctors, we have systems that are helping those people. And this is great because not everybody has medical degree, not everybody knows what to do. So luckily we have doctors, we have nutritionists, we have dietitians who are helping you out, helping you to organize the life, suggesting you what to do. But there is not that much help to families or whoever is living in the same household or close by and helping to take care of those people with the diseases. And that's when I see a lot of families are suffering from, because people either quitting their job what they were doing, or this is all they are doing, and they don't take care of themselves. And after the crisis passes, whatever outcome it is, they find themselves in a very difficult health conditions as well. And I don't know if you know this, but actually people with those long-lasting health diseases, they very often live longer than the care providers that are working with them, living with them,
Sure.
because they're taken care of. Those people live under stress, constantly worrying about the other, not taking care of themselves, and they are suffering at the end even more than the ones with the diseases. So that's my speeches I hear. I'm out here. This is what I kind of came with the conclusion. You got to take care of yourself, no matter do you have disease, do you or not. You're caring for somebody or you're ready to care for somebody, you have to take care of yourself. This is the most important thing, because excuses and explanations are out there. I have to take care of my family, I have no time for it. My family is very important, my business is very important, I have a lot of employees, I have to make sure that they're taken care of, their families are taken care. If you are not able to care for yourself, sooner or later your body will claim the toll. And the business, the results may be there, but you will not be there to celebrate.
Excellent point. Yes. Now, did he come down with diabetes when you were still living in Russia?
No. That was
Okay.
actually, it happened right before 911.
Okay.
It happened because his crazy schedule he had,
Okay.
and stress that he constantly had,
Yeah.
caused his body to collapse. So basically he had this 911 experience and 17 days in ICU unit in California while I'm in Atlanta with two babies.
Oh,
But
wow.
then
Okay.
he came back, and that's when my basically um, making sure that we have enough medicine, making sure that we eat right, at least at home. If we are at home, we're making sure that we're going outside and doing something outside. He been doing that too, to the extent periodically, and I understand that when you don't my this is from my early age. I suddenly realized when I was young girl that when somebody hurts, he couldn't be happy.
That's
Believe
true.
it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the all,
that's true.
all the wars, all the conflicts are happening because people are hurting. They may like Napoleon complex. He was small, short. Talking about that, talk about different other um, reasons for people to hurt. You don't feel too good, you yell at your dog is not happy. You don't feel too good, you may argue or not greet everybody in the morning with a smile. Instead of it, you're grumpy because your head hurts,
Mhm,
and it transfers to others, and everybody suddenly feel that something is not right. So
mhm,
there's no happiness when somebody is not feeling good.
mm.
So taking
Okay.
care of your health, making sure that you feel good is the reason, not reason, but it causes like ripple effect for
Mm,
everybody around you to feel better about what they're doing, to feel better about their, you know, health and themselves. So I believe that for us to be happy, we have to be healthy. And
mhm,
it's not only those who already has diagnosis, it's for everybody. We have to be proactive. We have to make sure that it's not happening to us.
mhm. Yeah. Now we now when he was diagnosed after 9/11, was he home at for the rest of the time, or did he continue to work at all?
It took for him probably half a year to recover. So he was doing a lot of work around our area, not
Okay.
traveling on airplanes. But once he felt strong enough, and plus he was good, he
Mhm,
was good in his business. So people were asking him to go and teach and explain and lead the programs that they had. So
mm.
after he recovered, he continued on. It didn't stop him.
Okay. So he kept going, and it was just when it had gone to with his kidneys, then that's kinda when what kinda took him down a little bit more.
Well, with kidneys, one day his kidneys just shot.
Mm,
His kidneys, and then his stomach started not working properly.
uh,
There were a lot of complications following, but
sure.
the I do remember when he was on all intubated in the hospital. Um, the doctor who was caring for him, he came into the room and looked at him and said, I cannot believe how much this body is worn out. He's
Wow.
56, he is worn out completely.
Wow.
And this was doctor like he was in his 60s, so he's been around for a while, and he was working in the hospital. He's seen a lot.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That
it was
that that's
hard
hard.
to swallow.
Yes, definitely. So when he was first diagnosed, you mentioned because a lot of times when someone's ill that it kind of takes down the family as well because of, it's a struggle on the family. Did you find that to be the case when he was first diagnosed or more into the later complications?
No, no, no. First, he'd been overweight in the first place. Not like
Okay.
hugely obese, but definitely could lose some weight. So, but that was definitely because of the schedule he had. And when you're
Mhm.
on the road, it's
Yeah.
it's hard if you don't think about it. Basically, in his case, it was like, uh, okay, I don't know when next time I will eat. Right now, I see McDonald's, I'll grab that.
Sure.
And
Okay.
that's pretty much how it was. There was situations when he would be waking up somewhere in the morning in some hotel, and all Marriott hotels, they look the same. It doesn't matter. You are in France, or you're in America, you are, Orlando, or you are in Seattle. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So we had this routine that we will talk on the phone in the morning. Sometimes I would be his wake up caller. So I will give him a call and he will answer like, where am I? So come on, you're in Boston. Oh, okay. That's what I'm going to do. So with that schedule, it's tough. I understand that. I believe
Yeah.
it. And you have to be, if you have schedule like that, you have to be especially careful. You have to be especially mindful, and especially what you put in your mouth.
Mhm.
You should not be putting just something, because this something, talking about food,
Mhm.
this is something that fuels our bodies. And if we put the bad fuel into our car, we do not expect that car to run far. Why do we believe that we could live on potato chips and crackers, and our body will survive? I mean, this is
Mhm.
great gift that was given to us when we were born, right? Those bodies.
Sure.
And up to about age 40, it's actually taking care of itself. It's strong, it's very resilient, it's working. No matter what you're doing to it, it's working its way through. But eventually, even that mechanism is getting tired. Even
Mhm.
that mechanism needs to be taken care of. And if you continue doing something, believing that, hey, I was able to do this when I was 20, I will be able to do this when I'm 50, it's not going to happen. At 20,
Mhm.
you was totally less warm.
Mhm. Sure, absolutely. Now, during this time, the years of caring for your husband, how was your own health?
My health was more or less okay. You see, with my athletic background,
Mhm.
when I was wrapping up my athletic career, I was very concerned. I was very afraid to gain a lot of weight, because I was doing cross country skiing. It's very energy consuming sport. So um, a lot of people, when they stop, their bodies continue to consume as much calories and kind of store just in case. So people gain a lot of weight. So I was busying myself with a lot of different activities to make sure that that doesn't happen to me. At some point, I even found that I think I'm more active now when I'm not doing sports than when I was in training,
Mm,
because I was doing a
interesting.
lot of different kinds of activities.
Mhm.
So I've been more or less taking care of myself. Plus, when you have young children, you go with them everywhere, and you are being active.
Mhm.
My main thing was to eat right, and in Russia, it's a cool thing kind of that I inherited.
Mhm.
Um, Especially when I was growing up there, we didn't have that much fast food.
Yeah.
And those little cafeterias that we had, the food was there not good at all. And plus, being in sport, I was traveling a lot. So I've been eating in those cafeterias. I didn't like that food, period. So we are accustomed of cooking at home and kind of thinking what we're putting in our mouth.
Mhm.
So I've been cooking at home. We didn't eat much out. So that was helpful.
Mhm.
And plus, I play tennis a little bit. So I played tennis a little bit. But I didn't go to doctors for sure. For like 7 years, I didn't see doctors, period. It was not on my calendar. Um, Taking care of it now too.
Sure. Absolutely. So all this time, so you've been keeping up your health. How you mentioned with your daughters, it kind of took their dad's illness took a toll on them, from a mental perspective, things like that. How do you feel that your husband's illness took a toll on you,
On me, it's
if any? I don't
well,
know.
you see, as I said, luckily I was able to keep my health more or less under control. So probably from my athletic experiences. Plus, believe me, we were doing a lot of activities, even when he was. Only the last 2 years were very, very tough. We didn't do
Mhm.
much. We didn't do much because he wasn't able to go far, to do much. He wasn't
Okay.
able even to sit in front of a computer for long. So it would be like an hour in front of the computer, and the rest of the day he's in bed because he
Sure.
couldn't do that. But before that happened, we've been doing pretty active, trying to do pretty active life. So it would be most of the weekends we'll be going out. Maybe we'll be hiking, kayaking, biking, doing something, trying to do together as a family. So that was busy, active time that we had.
Okay.
Um, but after that, it's become much tougher because I had
Mhm.
to overcome my own trauma.
Okay.
And this is
And
something for people who have these issues, any kind of health issues. You have to be mindful. It's not
mhm.
only you hurting. It's people who are caring for you, who love you, who are trying to help you. They are hurting too.
Sure.
And so I had to overcome my personal trauma.
Sure.
And the kids, they had their own problems. As I said, we were fortunate to find in time different psychological help with the counselors who
Okay.
were helping more or less, but it was not enough. Well, once a week, it's not enough. And it's
Mm,
not the person who knows you, really. You may go there and cry there, but it's not really the support that a lot of times kids need.
mm,
And I was fortunate to be around with my kids to catch in time certain attempts that could cause totally different outcome that we have right now. So my
wow.
main goal, after his passing, my main goal was to keep them alive. so
Sure.
so
Absolutely.
and it's 5 years this like last week. It was five years since that happened, and we still have some issues. They still go to see counselors periodically. They still take medications because this is not easy to get over.
No, no, definitely not. So I'm grateful that you were there for them too. It's, I mean, it's traumatic for anyone when a family member passes, but you had each other. You had your girls, they had you to
Yes.
kind of. So now, when you mention, I mean, it's traumatic regardless of the illness. Um, but you mentioned a lot of times your focus is on, helping people caring for themselves who are caring for others. In your work, do you focus more on the caregiver themselves, or do you also provide different types of coaching or other things to their family members who are battling various illnesses or
Absolutely. This is I would call it team sport. You
okay,
cannot take one person and don't help the other because
sure,
I am trying to it still comes from the person who has an issue, who has a health problem, health challenge. But while helping these people,
hmm,
we're trying to make sure that the caregivers are not forgotten,
sure,
that they also are taking care of themselves. They are doing something for themselves. It's very important. Otherwise, it's kind of like one is getting better, but another is not feeling too good, and then this way we don't want that. We want the balance.
mm. Yes, excellent point. So you're um, now why you kind of talked about, people get busy and things like that. Do you find in your coaching as you're addressing these that the caregiver are they do you get any pushback at all for them, helping because they're trying to care for their family members, but they may not be paying attention to their own health, so to speak.
Well, you see, the program that I'm offering, it's actually kind of I'm trying to involve everybody,
Hmm.
and from the very beginning. Uh, and I'm working with people who want to work with me. If somebody is saying
Sure.
I don't need your help, I cannot force anybody to do that. So first of all, we find the agreement that help is needed, and they agree that I can help. They trust me
Mhm.
that I can help. So this is
Sure.
to start with,
Sure.
and from there, my job is to make sure that everybody is aware of what is going on, what is the plan, how we are working together. It's not it's teamwork. It's impossible to do by yourself. If
Mhm.
somebody is single and has these issues, they definitely need help. If
Mhm.
there's a family, there's much just more people to think about, because somebody needs help with that, but the other people may need help with something totally different, but it's all together works to the result that the happiness of a family, happiness of a, all together. We can, as I said, one person unhappy cannot, nobody can be happy around. Everybody have to be uh, feeling that they are taken care of one way or another.
Sure, absolutely. Now, what are there some examples you can share of how people or and have really balanced their own health as they're taking care of family members? I mean, you shared your own story, of course, but though perhaps those that you've worked with, how they've been able to really put their health as a priority as they're taking care of family members.
Well, first of all, I have to say, um, I started working with people and helping them out not 15 years ago.
Mhm.
It's
See,
just last 5 years that it's a
okay.
process of me first to realize that I actually can help,
Hmm.
then to realize how can I help. Now I'm, offering this help, I'm helping out. But I do see that those families where caregivers taking care of themselves
Hmm.
are getting better results because they are strong, they are capable, they don't feel, this is the thing. When you feel dependent on a person who is not feeling good,
Hmm.
completely dependent on that person, you have no idea what to do. And you are not strong enough to take care of that person. So it's kind of like a unit. It's
Mm.
working together. So I see the families or teams where one person is helping another, but at the same time are taking care of themselves. They're all good when this person is getting back on the game. They're all good and they continue strong. But if that person deteriorated themselves while taking care of this one is strong, but this one is down. And it's again not a system. And it's kind of like, as I was saying, examples are available here, and I see it like not every day, but when I work with people, speak with people, because sometimes I just speak about some one particular, not working exactly, but I'm
Mm.
giving some consulting work, the job, how you call it.
Sure.
And I see that very often focus on a person who is not feeling good, and
Mhm.
my job at this time is to bring awareness, to remind constantly. And this is more about like working, consulting, talking with my friends, with people who I know closely enough. So I know that
Mhm.
they're kind of like right now they change their focus and they not taking good care of themselves. They have to be reminded. And it's not that they're doing it consciously, they just unconsciously forgetting about themselves, because especially women, we are givers, we are
Mm.
caretakers, we tend to forget about ourselves. We have to be reminded about it. And this
Mhm.
is what actually I also started um, training as a speaker,
Okay.
because I feel like a Paul Revere. You have to remind about it to people all the time, because
Mhm.
sometimes we tend to forget.
Sure. Yes. So reminding them of how important they are as a
Yeah.
caregiver.
Yes, as people, not
Mhm.
necessarily caregiver, as people, you have to remember to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to help your loved one. You will not be able to help your kids. You will not be able to do the work that will be
Mhm.
productive and support the family by the time when somebody, your partner is not capable of. So if you not strong enough, you will not be able to attack all these tasks and still come out as a one person.
Sure. Absolutely. Now, how has their ability have you worked with people who maybe their own health isn't too great and they're trying to care for others? So how has their um their own health grown as a result of just really seeing that importance of health in general, but importance of them taking care of themselves.
Well, I have, as an example, I have one family, and right now they're actually doing very good, both
Mhm.
of them. But for a while, it was exactly like this:
Mm.
taking care of one, forgetting about yourself. And it's not necessarily that you get some disease. You just, your body weakens, and you could get
Mhm.
a trauma that sets you aside. And that person, the one who you care for, has to kind of, for a while, until you heal, um, has to take to do taking care of himself or herself better. So they were going this way for a while. One person is
Okay.
doing good, another person is not. Start beginning taking care of that person, but forgetting about yourself. And that person is straightening out, but you kind of weakening down.
Mm.
So I see what I see lately. They finally found the balance, and they both are doing pretty good, look good, uh, feel good, and following the necessary steps to keep themselves this way. And but that was actually, when you asked me this was actually uh, the family that came to my mind, because I this was pretty so obvious that one is not doing too good and another one is looking great. And then and then it's going like this. They had kind of like two or three switches this way, but now they're in balance, I see.
Okay. So it's almost so basically they're kind of alternating taking care of each other.
Yes,
So,
yes, and that's, you're in a partnership. So this
mhm.
is what you're doing anyways, right? You love this other person, you helping out, you taking care, but then you suddenly find yourself not capable of doing that, and that person jumping in, because this is a relationships. It's not like a job when you could take sick days and just don't show up.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So what steps can people take to balance their health so that you don't necessarily do that switchback when your health is suffering and then the other person and so forth? But how can people have that maintain that balance of keeping their own health up while caring for someone, that a family member or other person?
Well, I don't think I will say something new. uh,
Mm.
I sure
Sure.
don't, because there's a lot of people. But I actually, every morning I am out uh, in the morning doing my walks, and after that I have like 5 minutes talk, uh,
Mhm.
and and I do this live on Facebook, just to for people who follow me or maybe run across my page. Um, you got to, no matter what, you got to force yourself to move. My page called Smart Move 360. You got to move, and you got to move mindfully.
Mhm.
You, like, if you sit, sometimes we have those days when you don't want to do anything, but you don't want that to become your normal,
Mm. True.
especially now time, like, when we have no idea what is happening outside. Is it the quarantine on, is quarantine off, is the virus strong, is it just the media and it's not? We don't know, we have no control, and unfortunately doctors and scientists don't have enough data to say it's something definitive. So what we can do, we could take care of ourselves, and that will help us to um, make sure that we are able to take care of people who are close to us. We are not causing problems for people who may be assigned to take care of us because we are strong.
Mhm.
And when everything somehow, um, when everything somehow kind of stabilizes, we are strong and ready to go out and do whatever we need to do, whatever we can do. So keep moving. This is the important thing. And you don't have to do running or biking, some kind of movement. but you know that this is my 20 minutes movement for the day. I got to do it. I got to do it to make sure. Drink water, especially right now in the summer when it's hot, or air conditioners are working strong, in the house. The air is dry, and we have to make sure that our bodies are hydrated, because this is causing so many issues. Head hurts. You start taking pills to fix your head, but in reality, it's just dehydration. You think that you are hungry, but you are thirsty. So before you put something in your mouth, like snacks, uh, drink a cup of water and see, maybe this is all you needed. And of course, so movement, water, and it's mandatory to get enough nutrients in your food, vitamins, minerals, all this. People could take it in a peel form, or you could just consume more fresh fruits and veggies that are full of this vitamins and minerals. But you need to make an effort and go to the store and buy them, and maybe snack on strawberries or blueberries instead of potato chips. So these three things, and of course, one more thing, of course, it's make sure that you have enough sleep. I know right now so much going on the internet. There is a lot of classes, there is a lot of information. Everybody is on the internet because they cannot go to work, because they're not stuck in traffic. So what do? They spend the time on the phone. And of course, there's so much temptations to be connected, to be informed and all this, but set up your phone that it will tell you, have this bedtime chime, like, okay, it's time to put the phone away and go to bed, because information overload will also cause the lack of sleep, which as a result will create for you the weakness, and you may be like, oh, I'm so tired, I didn't sleep last night, so I'll skip my walk. Or I didn't walk today, so I don't need this extra cup of water. And this is kind of like, this is a system. As I said, we are given the system. We have to take care of the system. We put the oil in our car. We have to put the good fuel into our bodies. You want to, you want to see what is ahead. You put the windshield fluid in the car, right? So you got to, do something for your body to make sure that your vehicle takes you where you're going to.
Sure, absolutely. And then you've got the energy you need to care for your family members.
Exactly.
So,
This all boils down to this airplane. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help the others.
sure, absolutely. So, and that's super, super important. And I'm really grateful that for your different activities, you're reminding people, essentially reminding those you work with of these three things, and just reminding them that their priority is, or their health is the priority.
Yeah, you see, this is something that I learned from someone. This is the very selfish thing, to do not care of yourself, because very few people, well, with Corona it happens, but very few people just drop down like this. They slowly start deteriorating, and somebody has to take care of them.
Sure. Yeah.
And this is not fair to this other person. This other person may be taking care of themselves, but now they have to forget whatever they were doing and take care of the somebody who cannot anymore. So it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. This way we will provide the environment for people around us to bloom and achieve whatever they can achieve.
Absolutely. So super, super important. So, oh, I'm so grateful. I'm sorry you had to struggle with your husband's passing, but it helped you to become stronger, sounds like, and then to pay it forward to others that you're serving.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for seeing it, because it's kind of, it helped me to see what my um, duty is, what my calling is. I was helping him and taking care of him, but apparently I actually now see that I can help more people. Maybe not necessarily physically attempt, but even if I will make somebody thinking about it and starting taking care of themselves without my help, just with my blessing, it's already good.
Sure, absolutely. Well, how can people get in contact with you for more information?
Well, I don't know if you have anywhere. I'm on the Facebook. It's very easy to find me, Irina.Strunina, and that's me. I didn't change anything. I don't have any nicknames or anything.
Mhm.
Or my other Facebook page is Smart Move 360. They are linked together, and from one way or another, you could get in touch with me. I also have email, irina@istrunina.com, and this is the other way. I'm working on my website, but it will be posted when I have it done the way how I like it, because the way how it done in the original, I didn't like that.
Okay, wonderful. We will include all of those in the show notes so people can get in touch and learn more about your super important work with those with um, uh, different illnesses and caring for others. And Irina, it's been a pleasure. It's been super informative, and I'm grateful for your strength and how much you're helping others. And I hope that those watching are able to kind of see that strength as well and maybe envision the strength that they can have as a caregiver and as a person. So, thank you
It's
so much.
beautiful. Thank you.